Welcome everybody to MogTalk, episode 238. Today is August 14th, 2021. If you guys are unfamiliar with MogTalk, it's a show based around the Final Fantasy XIV community discussing everything from Savage Raiding to Chocobo Racing. And today we're going to have a handful of awesome topics, but before we get into that, I want to introduce our guests so they're not just sitting here awkwardly and you know who we have on the show. I'm going to go clockwise, I guess, and we'll start with the newest guest, Zepla. Could you tell everybody who you are?
Everyone. Rather. I'm Zepla, and I make YouTube videos for Final Fantasy 14. I stream Final Fantasy 14. And, yeah, we just talk about fun stuff.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I get it. It's real cool to have, something that you could relate to and pun with all the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, Arthars, could you go?
Yo, what's up, man? I'm Arthars. Stream Final Fantasy, obviously. Last month took a break from the game, but like this month came back because everybody is playing the game, and I'm like naturally attracted back to the game. So yeah, it's been a pretty good 1 week, 1 month. Yeah, nice to meet everyone again.
Mm-hmm.
And Zepla, yes. First, is this the first time we are on the show? Wait, is she really the newest one?
She is. Yeah. This is the first time she's been on.
Yes.
Hi. I thought I talked to her before.
No. Never.
No.
Maybe in my dreams, you know.
All right.
Maiden voyage.
Spofie, could you tell everybody who you are?
Hi, I'm Sophie or Spofie. I'm a Purple LFL VTuber, and I stream Final Fantasy 14 every night in the evening Eastern time. So yeah, that's me.
Okay. Well, you guys are all fantastic guests, and I know it's going to be a fantastic show. And you're all from absolutely different time zones. So just so everybody knows, Zepla, it's midnight for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Arthars, it's 6 a.m. for you, right?
Yeah. 5 a.m. Yeah.
Oh, it's 5 a.m. Okay. And then Sophie, it's in the evening for you, right?
Yeah, it's 5 p.m.
So this is going to be a very interesting show, because you know what, we've got people around the world to come together and talk about this controversy, this huge thing overtaking the Final Fantasy XIV community. It's devastating. We have people who are coming in and we're like, yeah, come in and play the game, but they're not playing the game we want them to play, right? They're playing it like this weird way of like entering a new game and then just like not how I would want them to do it. Let's talk about that first. You know, there's a lot of players who are out there on the front line with us and saying, hey, this stuff is bad. How do we feel about people going full blast, hey, you should not play this game if you're not going to do the story and if you're going to skip and get boosted?
Well, I think that it is okay to encourage people to play the story from level 1, do the full story experience, because that is the way the game was designed to be played. It is a story-based game. And with that said, however, there's a difference between encouraging someone to do that and being a dick about it. And there's always going to be people that find a reason to be a dick about anything, including that. Especially when people feel like they're in the right and their opinion is right. It's like all hell usually breaks loose. And these people usually will use that as their justification to be a dick to somebody else. You know, you have to respect that other people might not want to play the same way. You know, it's like, I think there's a lot of people that just don't see the nuance in what it means to encourage something without pushing it and forcing it and being horrible about it. Like they just see like either this is the good and right way, or this is the bad and this is the wrong way. There's no let's just maybe encourage something that I think is a good way, but in the end, ultimately let people make their own decisions.
Yeah. All right, Arthars, what's your thoughts on this topic we're going to get into today?
Wait, why is everybody in chat like thinking I'm ready to unleash something on?
You look like you have something on your mind.
I mean, I do have a lot of things on mind. Yeah, like when Zepla first said the first sentence, I was like, and then she said, that being said, after that kind of like, you know, calm the storm a little bit. Okay. I agree to a certain degree. I think at the end of the day, how you want to start playing the game is totally up to you. Now, I want to start off with in saying though, although Final Fantasy series has always been a story-driven game, and I agree, especially the single-player ones. I mean, JRPG in general, I think. But whether it's Final Fantasy or not, I think an MMORPG story is usually only about 10 to 15% of the gameplay because there's just so many content in an MMORPG that so many people play it for different reasons. Some people just play for the social aspect, mainly the social aspect, at least back in the days. And then people just play it for, able to party up with, I guess that's fall into the social aspect. But I mean, rather than just like, talk to guildies, being guilds, being in a circle. Sometimes people just want to go out in the open, fight mobs, make new friends, right? Not everybody play an MMO with friends, which already have a circle of friends. Some people play it to make new friends. So usually they do that only via, say, in open world or in dungeon, right? Not because you play the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially Final Fantasy that we play. When you play through the story, it's mainly just like a single player journey, right? That's why it's easier for everybody to watch and it's easier for an individual to go through it because it's like you don't have to deal with other people yet. It's just like,
Well, why do you need
JRPG.
friends if you can just have friends from the story? Like, Alice is my friend, so.
It's true. They do dungeons with you too. I mean, like.
Yeah, like, why do you need to go out and find friends? So.
Yeah.
Am I assuming that you're saying this because like in a sarcastic way, as in like in this game you don't really
No,
need friends?
I'm completely serious.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. I mean,
Okay.
that's a way to look at the story, yes. But anyway, I feel story is only 10 to 15%. Now, in Final Fantasy is a little bit more, obviously, because like Zepla say, this game is much more story driven. I agree, but I think everybody should be able to start off how they play the game. Now, those people that miss the story or those people that doesn't want to start off with the story, they want to start off with anything else. That doesn't mean that they won't come back to the story, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really need to start off with the story because you did it. I think there's a lot of people, I myself included, until Shadowbringer, when the story somehow captured me, and then I went back to actually find out everything. I actually reverse engineering and go back to watch videos like some of those lore guy in our community that did it, So I kind of did the other way. But hey, 9 years later, I still enjoy myself. So I don't think there is a must-do way. I just think, like Zepla said, don't be a dick about it. And also the most important one, oh my God, I'm not sure whether I should start the show like that. If you want to skip the story, I'm not going to encourage and say skip the story because the story is bad. I would usually tell people skip the story if you just want to get into the end game and start. Or not necessarily the end game, the current state of the game when it's at its best, which is the current expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be a dick. Skip it. Don't know anything about it. Didn't go and find out about it. And then go on social media, throw a social media feed and say because the story quit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
what?
Don't do that.
Sorry,
that's pretty bad, right?
Okay.
And you got something in your throat there.
Something was stuck there.
Yeah, man. Oh my God.
All right.
Okay.
Are you telling me you skipped the story, Arthars? Is that right? Did you?
Did you?
Did you skip the story?
I skipped the story.
Sophie, you skipped this. All right, I need to hear Sophie's opinion.
So when I started,
wait, Sophie, really? Oh wow. Okay.
I'm not a story gamer. I've gone back and watched it, but when I started the game, I was playing WoW in 2015, and I was like, I'm not having fun with this. So I was looking for an MMO. I wasn't looking for like a storybook. So I was like, I started playing 14. I was like, I don't care. I'm just gonna skip every cutscene. And I was like, I raided coils, and I had so much fun, and I enjoyed the game to the point that at some point I was like, all right, let me go figure out this story. And I made an alt, and I went back and did the story. But it's like, even if you don't start with the story, like you can still find your way to the story, like that's like the cool part of the game.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yes,
I have talked to a lot of people that had, they just skipped through without even thinking about it. And then later on, they went back and enjoyed the story. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, we just don't respect you as much,
It's just like, I mean, I would encourage people to do, it's the same reason I encourage people to go watch Lord of the Rings. I encourage people to go and watch Star Wars.
Oh my God.
If somebody tells me they didn't watch Star Wars, they didn't watch Lord of the Rings, I'm going to be like, what the hell? Go do that right now.
No.
Yeah.
You're going to come to my house, I'm going to lock you in here, and we're going to watch the whole thing. All of it. You're not going to get out.
Yeah, I like that you bring up this topic, the Lord of the Rings. I did true story, by the way. I went to the movie theaters with my wife. This is not gonna be good. I went to the theaters with my wife, right? So my wife is like, okay, what should we watch? I mean, then it was girlfriend then, right? So she asked me, what should we watch today? I'm like, yo, we should watch Lord of the Rings. It was, I think it was the Two Towers. So I asked her, did you watch Lord of the Ring? And then she said, no, never. I said, wait, you didn't watch Fellowship? And then she didn't. I'm like, okay, that's fine, because Fellowship is at the beginning is really boring. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, do you want to watch the Two Towers, right? And then she's like, nah, I don't want to. I'm like, why not? It's amazing. It's awesome. Did you see this fighting? How can you not? There's Nick in the next few years. There's gonna be written. It's gonna be amazing. It's an amazing trilogy. Don't you want to watch it? And then she's like, no, I don't want to watch it. Why do I want to watch it? Why don't we watch insert this instead? I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that. I just want to watch this. And then she's like, I don't know. How about I go shopping? And I was so kind of mad at her. I'm like, man, I really want her to watch this movie with me. Now I go watch it myself. That doesn't make sense. But you know what? Go for it. So I went to the theater and watched it myself, right? I enjoyed the movie. It didn't for one moment make me feel like, wow, my wife should be here, my girlfriend should be here. No, fuck her, right? I was just like enjoying my popcorn myself. Nobody's stealing my popcorn, nobody's stealing my drink. I enjoyed the whole 3 hours. I came out and then I look at her, she looked at me, and she's also happy because during the 3 hours she went to shopping and she enjoyed herself. So end up both of us, initially I was so mad that she didn't want to join me on watching something that I really like. And then she went to do something she really liked, which honestly I don't really like. Like shopping is like, for me, like, so I mean, I do it for her because of the relationship, but it was amazing that I didn't have to do that, and then I get to watch my favorite movie, and then she doesn't have to watch the movie that I'm watching, and then she get to go shopping. I think that's a win-win. So like in this situation, it's the same, right?
It's like
yeah, it's a metaphor.
In this way, it's the same, right? If you like, for example, Max. Dude, I'm not gonna watch Max. If Max, for example, decide to watch the story, bro, I'm not gonna watch his stream because of the story. I'm gonna watch Max because it's Max. I'm not gonna watch Max because Max go through a story. On the other hand, because I'm the type of player that just now you guys asked whether we skip story. Sophie said she skipped. I'm glad to hear that because I really thought I was the only one here. So that high five to you, Sophie. And then I am
no, take that high five right back. No.
No high five for you.
I'll intercept it.
We meet
I'll grab it
later or high five.
So I will tell you, by the way, guys, I played through the story, and the only thing I did was watch the cutscenes. I didn't read a lot of the dialogue when I was first leveling up.
Yeah.
I was just like, here's the cutscenes. Oh, his voice. I can sit back and I don't really understand what's going on, but I can kind of make sense out of it. That was my experience. And I've only learned lore and story by watching other people do it and talking to like Ethis and Anonymous. That's the only reason I have any knowledge of what I have right now. Zepla's not
that's
loud.
sad.
She's not loud. That's just that's her. That's her volume and voice. No, for some reason yours like caps out a little bit. I don't know what it is. It like hits that. I think it hits that cap.
I can lower it.
Well, I mean, I could probably.
Oh, noise suppression, maybe.
Let me know if it's better.
A little bit.
Oh, it might be that. It might be that.
Okay.
I'll try to speak
Okay,
up.
I changed it. All right, I lowered it a little bit.
You know what? So I think it's good. Try again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, I'm testing it.
Oh,
this a good?
that's much better.
It's fine. Yeah.
Great.
On my end, it sounds fine. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I forgot where we were completely. Chat, you threw me off. God damn it.
We're going to the movies.
We're talking about going to the movies, and I want to say, Arthars, that's a great point. That's a great point. We did also get into Max, and I want to say, like, when you're streaming, if you're doing something you don't want to do, you know how fucking boring that is? You know how horrible of a stream? You're like, oh, Max, you can't play this game unless you go through all the story and you level up the character and go through all the stuff you don't want to do because that's how you got to be a Final Fantasy 14 player.
Well, I think that the motive to say that to people is coming from a good place because it's like you want people to enjoy it because you want to share that experience with them. That's a beautiful thing. Like you like something and you want to like be able to chat with this person about the thing you like, so you can share something that you like and like. See what I'm saying? Like it's not a malicious thing that people are doing a lot of the time.
But on the other hand, right? Is it really about? I mean, I agree. Like you want to form that special connection to have the topic that you want to talk about when you watch them, right?
Right.
But when you want to do that, right? did you ever consider the feeling of that guy? Because like Frosty said, because that guy just simply doesn't want to do it. Like, are you in this stream because this guy is new? Let's hope he watch the story so that I can relate. Or I'm here to watch this guy play what he wants and what he enjoys. That's the difference that I think these people couldn't tell. Or these people never even think about when they stumble across a content creator or a stream, whether it's on Twitter or on Twitch, you know?
I want to hear Sophie's opinion, but I do want to say something real quick on this. If this is going on, I understand it's coming from a good place. The issue is like this good place, then it goes into this toxic sludge of, hey, you're not a good person. I'm going to say all this shit and you're not worthy of anything because you're not going through it right. So I don't respect any of your opinions or thoughts or anything. Which, I mean, so see that if Max came in one day and Max was like, man, the story in this game is shit. Sure, don't respect that opinion. Because he doesn't really know. He hasn't even tried in that situation. But don't automatically assume he's going to run around and say the story is shit and demean him as a person before you even give him a chance, which that leads into the gatekeeping. But Sophie, I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this too.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if I really have like any sort of hot take on it. I feel like I'm kind of middle of the ground. Because for me, I generally just encourage people to do the story if they're interested in it. Like, and whenever that happens, like for some people, like for me, it wasn't at the beginning of the game, but like, you know, I think it was Stormblood and I really liked the zone. So I started like reading the side quests and stuff just because like I liked certain characters. Like, I just think it's really important with 14 because it's like such like a massive game to just, as your interest peaks and stuff, just kind of follow that line of interest and don't worry about whatever anybody else is interested in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And the main reason is I think this is kind of an issue is because coming from the point of view of a player or a streamer or something trying to get into something and your reaction from the community is having to kind of mute your chat or leave it in sub-only mode or do other things because they get berated by these random people who just, I mean, and again, this is like very vocal, I wouldn't say super minority. I mean, they're a little bit bigger than just a tiny minority. There is a good handful of people out there like this. But enough to like trigger someone that's coming in and trying to play the game and not have a good time because their chat is being absolute trash. But I don't know.
It never feels good to be pressured into doing anything by a mob. And there's always going to be, like I said, anytime a mob gets it in their head that they're right about something, or they have the preferred opinion, or they have the popular opinion, there's always going to be people that take that to the extreme and are super rude about it and horrible.
Right. Oh, you know what? I think I figured out your volume thing. On my end, I got that. Never mind. Anyways, go ahead. So,
difference between story boosting and level boosting too, and I feel like people sometimes just say boosting and then they kind of like I don't know, start talking about things that are, you know, part of one and part of the other when they really are two very different things, and I see people have two very different opinions on them.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to skip past the story if you're boosting a character to a certain level, right? You have to because otherwise you go back and you do all these quests and it just is almost pointless to do a level boost anyways, right?
Well, some people do it for the gil. Yeah. So that's a way to buy gil.
I guess so.
Yeah. So not only can you skip the job story, but you'll get paid in gil to do it. So win-win, right?
Yeah. Gil is so worthless in this game, though.
I mean, kind of, yeah. True.
It's like buying nothing. You're just buying, I don't know. Anyways, I do want to, let's narrow this down a little bit. Let's talk about boosting in general. And when we're talking about boosting, we're talking about someone going to the MogStation store and buying a level skip to a certain level, which includes skipping, part of the story if you want to do it that way. I've never seen anyone skip just the levels and not skip the story as well when they first get into a game. But maybe not. I mean, there's a choice, I guess. When you get to that point, you can start following the story from that point, and then you could be the person who skips all the cutscenes and afterwards it just powers through everything, which is what Max does. Or you could just follow the story from then, and you just didn't want to go through the initial part of the game and skip through it. Why is there such a negative perception on people doing that and buying that service?
Well, have you ever been to Disney World and you had to stand in a really long line for a ride and you stood there, but then you see people paying money for the fast pass and they're getting to the front of the line and part of you is thinking to yourself, look at those people. They disgust me.
I feel like
right?
that's like almost a weird comparison though, because like the ride for 14 almost like is the process.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a good
it
analogy.
Doesn't, like, affect you.
Yeah, you're having the time of your life in the line. It's like, yeah, it's true. It's not really a good analogy, but the reason I say that is because like that is why people. I think it's natural for people to get upset when they see somebody bust out the credit card to get something or reach a level that they worked hard to get to. Like it's natural for people to be upset about that. But I don't think. Again, we come back to the point of just because you're upset about something doesn't mean it gives you the justification and the right to go out and be a dick. Like we keep returning to this theme here.
Yeah.
That people really need to get through their heads.
I'm not sure whether it's I mean, now that you guys put it this way, right, girls, that you girls put it this way, right? Actually, it never occurred to me. Okay, I don't speak for myself or maybe my culture, but never in my life in these 40 years have I ever thought about it that way. I mean, I've been to the rides, I've seen people do like gacha, I've seen people like pay money to get something better than me. I see people like cut queue in Universal Studio and Disneyland, right? But it never crossed my mind. It just whenever somebody take that premium route and go in fast, right? It just occurred to me that, oh wow, he paid more. But it never occurred to me like you know that it never,
the injustice never really hits you, is what you're saying. Is it because you're already so programmed by the way society is to think that that's just fine for people to do that?
That's true. That is true.
It's just the way things are. I mean, it's okay. If people have the money, then they should be able to get whatever they want, right?
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, isn't that how it works?
Rich people are just, they get better perks. It just, encourages you to get rich, right? It encourages you to make lots of money, and it's just part of the process. That's why the royalty in England.
Way,
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
You have the kings and the queens in the high monarchy because it's a point to make, right? It's your goal. You're always shooting to do better and strive and be a better person. So when you see someone skip in line, that's a great thing. You see someone boost, that's a great thing. I'm going to be honest with you. If I had absolutely no interest in story, I knew nothing about Final Fantasy 14, and the only thing I wanted to do was just get to the end game and play with friends and do stuff with them and everything else, I look at like $25 and compare it to hundreds of hours, and then I look at my paycheck I get every week. I'm like, you know what? Holy crap! If I could pay $25, I'm like getting a amazing deal right now. Absolutely amazing. Yep. I'm saving hundreds of hours in my life.
Yeah, time is money. You got to remember that. And if you're not interested at all in the story, you just want to raid, I think it's totally justified. Sure.
Yeah, and I do think Arthars, you've been around in MMOs as longer than me. For a long time. We used to be a point of pride, right? You're like at a point of level, and you're like, I got a high level this and a high level that. Oh, that means I'm awesome. I put in all these hours, and I earned this achievement of grinding all the way to the top level. And I think,
but that's the thing, though. That's the thing, because even when we were doing those, like you mentioned, all the leveling and grinding stuff, it never crossed your mind that you are doing it for the next story. It never crossed your mind that as I was grinding mindlessly 3 hours trying to get one bubble, 1/10 of a level, it crossed your mind that, what was the last cutscene that I saw? No, right? You were still sitting there to grind because you want to level up. It's not because you want to do the story. That's why I say at the beginning of the show, right? Not everybody play an MMO just for the story. I can tell you, right? I played every single Final Fantasy. I played a lot of RPG games. on console, I watch story, all of them, because I have to. That is part of the experience. But every single MMO that I played for the past 23 years, right, I have never seen a single cutscene. I've never read a single quest dialogue. But at some point, like Sophie said, when the interest somehow caught up to me, I backtrack it and I reverse engineer. And, I mean, back then we don't have videos. We don't have YouTube, sadly. So we just make a character to go back again. Like that's what I also do in Final Fantasy, right? Like when an expansion comes out, I'm not gonna spend, although I should, because this game gave us like 2 weeks of leeway before the normal rate comes out. There's so much time for you to level up. But for me, I'm always gonna try to hit max level, make sure that I get my gear, make sure that I enjoy the trials at least, as blind as possible, learn with friends as possible, or just PF. And then after that, everything comes down, my gear is there. Then I go back to level another out. Then I go and see the story. That's how I usually do it. So jumping, boosting, right now really is like, I think it's a valid choice. Like, the other day I saw on Twitter, somebody linked a article. I'm not sure whether you guys read it. Somebody linked an article on the official forum where Yoshi P was explaining about Jump Pod the very first time when they introduced it. I think it was in Storm's Blood. Yoshi P actually wrote something, and then it was translated by the official. It was officially translated and put it on the what is that place called? Lordstone forum.
Yeah.
And I think he addressed every single thing there. He talked about how this game has been out for like 3 expansions already. 2 expansions, going to the 3rd one already. Having the boost let people catch up because they don't want people to feel behind. And you look at all the things that they have done recently, it justify what a lot of us is trying to say here, that quote unquote boost is okay, jumping is okay, because look at what they did to A Realm Reborn. They slash off so much unnecessary ridiculous XP requirement before you can do the next one. They give you much more EXP. I also think they cut off some quests, if I'm not wrong, so that you can get to pass A Realm Reborn faster. And then they also introduced a new game plus. Why do you think they introduced that? Because they know it's tedious. They themselves know it's tedious. If I'm telling you, if we just sit here and talk objectively, right? If Square Enix didn't take all these measures, cull off A Realm Reborn quest, and then do the new game plus, I would actually be really worried that, number one, either they do not know that their story has become so freaking tedious, or number two, they just don't care about the player experience. But the fact that they actually did this at least makes me realize that they know this is a problem and they're addressing it. And every single expansion, I say that an MMO expansion, all the games that I play, right? An MMO expansion is always usually about a new journey, a side journey. You got your main journey in the main game, and then that will be updated even 9 years, 10 years later. People still update it, and then you have like your expansion that you sidetrack. It's a brand new story, a brand new band of NPC, and then a brand new continent and area that you go and do your stuff, finish it, you come back, just like what they did in Shadowbringer. You go to the first, you finish, you come back. Heavensward, you go to Ishgard, you finish, you come back. I think it's amazing. And that's why I think Storm's Blood wasn't that well received, because Storm's Blood didn't gracefully finish, and we have to finish it in Storm's Blood 2, AK and Walker. So I think they, at least they acknowledge it,
So now that
and at the same time,
boosts are in the game, like, it's like now the ship has sailed, right?
Yeah.
The boosts are already in the game, and now because they're in the game, it is a viable option for people that only care about rating. But don't you think that just having boosts, the concept of a boost, don't you think that does cheapen an achievement? Because, for example, what if they added a boost to let you buy for like $50 the Necromancer title? Instead of going through 200 floors, you could just buy a boost to floor 200 of Palace of the Dead. Like, that would obviously cheapen the achievement for people that did it. So like I think there's an issue at the core of what a boost provides, that now that it's in the game, it's like kind of a moot point, but I think that it's something that we can't really forget,
but that doesn't apply now though, right?
I guess not,
those
but
type of achievement
it's kind of
is not there,
the achievement's gone.
It used, so I will take this as like, it used to be an achievement, right? I think it used to be an achievement to get to a certain level and do a certain thing. But I think in today's age, leveling up a character to max level is not an achievement. It's like
Exactly.
No,
Just-
yeah, it's
yeah,
not.
yeah. And so people,
I guess I'm just
it
addressing
saddens
more
me.
the concept of what a boost is, what a boost provides, and
Yeah.
like what other boosts could potentially be added once we get very nice and cozy with a boost that we the type of boost we already have. Like we have
Right.
retainer boosts in the game as well, and it's just something that I don't think should be forgotten about what a boost can do.
yeah,
I think it's actually good that in this game you can only boost up to 70 and you can't boost
Yeah.
all the way up.
of course.
I think
yeah.
over time, they're always going to add ways that like reduce the time to do things, whether it's something you buy or something that's in the game. I mean, they're constantly like adding catch-up mechanics because otherwise people wouldn't, I mean, they do it in other games too, and people wouldn't, they'd stop before they got to the good part, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like the game has been consistently improving, and
Yep.
I don't really prescribe to this, but there's a lot of people that are like, well, ARR sucks. And, you need to get to the good part. And some people feel like they need to get to that. Now, I think ARR sets things up, but at the same time, I also see the thought process that the game does get better over time. And if we're putting people into this like long grind, there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to do that. And I feel like it's okay to be able to like make that decision. My biggest problem with boosting in this game is more so how the game handles it. Like, I really don't like that when you boost your class, that's just it. Like there's nothing, the game doesn't even like put you in with this like trust system that they created to like run like one dungeon or something. There's no game assistance at all in like even like 5 minutes of figuring out the job. I just feel like they could really like improve that.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
completely agree.
Yeah.
It saddens me.
Tutorial would be
saddens
nice
me.
for every job.
Yeah.
It saddens me that this game has boost. Don't get me wrong. It's not because the option is there that you can just swipe your credit card, pay $25-$50 and skip all the things that I quote unquote worked so hard to get by. Because like Frosty said, it's not. It's just that sense of achievement, the leveling process. And sadly, in this game, the leveling process, your first leveling process, it ties to the MSQ. It doesn't make me feel like even if I skipped it, I miss that sense of achievement. It doesn't. Number two, like Sophie says, it is so hard for new players. Okay, until Shadowbringer, right? I watch a lot of new players, mainly new players, because I always put myself in the situation to gamble with myself and tell myself, do you think this guy, usually girl, can get to the end? My answer is always no. By default. I'm programmed to always think it's no. And I would like to prove myself wrong. But statistics said and shown me that at least 7 out of 10 people before Shadowbringer, none of them made past a Realm Reborn. That was before they fixed how a Realm Reborn is. It is still tedious now, but it was beyond comprehension how troublesome it is to get past. And then comes Shadowbringer. Everybody is talking about how great Shadowbringer is. I agree. It is fucking amazing. Shadowbringers 5.0 and 5.1 is probably the best expansion experience I ever had. And how they set up. How, like I said earlier in the show, how an expansion feel it should be. It should be like every new expansion should be like a holiday period where you break off from the main story quest, finish an arc, and then you come back. And Shadowbringer totally done that. And I love it. But then I come back again. I see all these people hyping. I see friends of friends telling about how good the game is. I myself tell everybody how good the game is. And then I see it. I watch. I wait. And I hope that all of them can get past it. And like I said, 7 out of 10 of them don't. And it saddens me because the game is great. But those people who thinks that the game would be better if they can go from level Realm Reborn all the way to Shadowbringer, I'm like, dude, if those people care, those people wouldn't wait 7 to 9 years to finally come in and understand your story. If people really care, they would have done it as early, maybe at late as Heavensward already. They wouldn't wait until Shadowbringer. And for this case, they wouldn't wait until Endwalker to finally want to find out what happened from 2.0 until today. Like, I'm so pissed that 6.0 is gonna be a continuation. I'm sorry, I'm done here.
Okay.
I'm almost done here. I'm sorry. Give me 30 more seconds. And
Okay.
I am so glad. I'm so glad again that Square Enix has finally taken the step that 7.0 will be the cutoff where it's gonna start out a brand new adventure. And I assume 7.0 onwards We do not need to care about what happened in 2.0 to 6.0. And then 7.0 is just a brand new band of adventure, maybe new friends you make along the way. Maybe Xeno doesn't fucking die and then become your friend or something. That's going to be a fucking disaster. Hope they don't go that route. But it's going to start brand new from 7.0. And then maybe 6.0 or, and before will be an option that, you know, you can go back. And then this conversation will just end. And then we will just like have a happy ending in 7.0. Hopefully. But this is how I feel.
Okay. I'm going to rebuild my clock here for you next time, Arthars. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on a timer next time.
You can mute me for the next 5 minutes. I will just drink my coffee.
I want to hear Zepla and Sophie's opinions on all this too. And I think like we are splitting this. This is two kind of separate conversations. One's the PvE side of boosting, and I think how it affects other players in the game by people just coming in and not knowing what they're doing and being horrible players, which I think is a perception that's put out there right now. The other side is people who are disrespecting the story in the game and not sharing that same enjoyment they had with the story. So there's two kind of sides to the boost in general. And I think what I do want to cover a bit and just make sure we clarify it, because this has been said so many times and I'm so tired of people saying it, is that people who boost in this game are horrible. I think people are just horrible. I don't think people boosting are horrible, but
I see a lot of like confirmation bias around that. Like people will be like, this person's so bad. And then they'll go check their search info and be like, I knew it. They boosted. But like at the same time, like when they don't see the boost, they don't like say anything. They're just like, all right, well, I guess it's just a bad person. Like I feel like people will come in. I'm not saying, because I just said before, I do think the game does a poor job of like teaching the game to people who boost right off the bat. So I think that there is a little bit of a hump to get over when it comes to boosting. But at the same time, like it gets scapegoated so much to like, oh, I just had such a bad dungeon. It's the boosters. And it's like, what?
It's an easy thing to go to. But Zepla, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's entirely possible to level normally and be bad. There's plenty of people that have done that. I mean, hell, I leveled normally. I was pretty terrible when I got to max level.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's not your fault.
I mean, it kind of is. Yeah, it is my fault because I don't think that I looked at my my tooltips very well. I could have at least done that. Like, I just wasn't.
No, it's not your fault.
Like
Sophie said,
Arthars,
Sophie said.
Arthars, hold on.
I want to defend her. I want to defend her real quick. I want to white knight her a little bit because.
Okay, Zepla, I'll let you battle this.
So Sophie said it correctly. The game didn't teach you. So it's not Zepla's fault that when she was leveling and she felt that her experience was horrible or she didn't feel like she was good. It's not her fault. It's the game's fault. So don't be too hard on yourself, Zepla. It's not your fault.
Zepla, go.
It was absolutely my fault because I didn't read my tooltips and I didn't like try at all. I was just being lazy. That's how I leveled initially. So yeah, that's completely on me.
Yeah, I think there is onus. I think that's something I agree with Zepla 100%. Is that we have so many resources. People who are on the internet, gamers, people out there in the world, they know how to not suck, right? You don't have to like handhold someone and say read your tooltips and handhold someone and tell them, you know, all the little ins and outs of doing their rotation. The information's there. They can look it up. You just have to put that little bit of effort to do it. I don't think the game has to tell you how to be good at the game, and I think that's a point in games is that it's exciting to learn how to be good, right? I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. But it's exciting for me to like figure out, I went in, I did the research, I looked at this, and I actually feel good about playing this game because I tried and I put that extra effort in there. If I could be the best in the game just by what the game told me to do, everyone would be good at the game and it'd be boring to me. I don't know if that makes any sense.
There are people who don't care though, like straight up.
That's true.
And I'm not like placing an opinion on it or anything, but like especially when it comes to just like dungeons, like I don't know. I personally don't go in with too many expectations because there are people who just want to play the story, you know, like they're not gamers. They just are like, I love the Final Fantasy stories and I just want to get through this. And I'm not going to go into some savage raid and affect someone's experience, but like, I don't care. I'll just hit my 1, 2, 3 and try to get through it. And there are going to be people like that. And like, I don't know, you can't really stop them.
Yeah.
If that's what they want to do.
That's true. You can't control people being bad. Go ahead.
You can't, no, but I mean, it really depends on what kind of content you're talking about. You can absolutely face roll your way to 60 through all the story crap. And then, but the thing is, like, once you decide, oh, I want to go do an extreme trial, or I want to go do a savage raid, I'm going to join a party finder for this, and you don't even know how bad you are yet, then you join that group and you end up wasting a lot of people's time. And a lot of times these people will get quite angry about that, even though they're the ones that put zero effort into learning how to play. And that's really frustrating because all these people are gathered, like, everybody else is, like, highly motivated to do well. And this person just doesn't care. Like, it would be hard to play any kind of game with somebody who has this attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that completely. If you're going to anything like extreme, savage, stuff like that, it's put there because it's for people who are trying. It's people who are trying to challenge themselves with some sort of difficulty. You got the normal modes, which, I think the hardest content that you have to go through that requires you to go through it in order to see the story is the 24-man raids. I think that's like the highest level of difficulty a player who wants to experience all the story content in the game has to go through is that 24-man raid. And that's why it's usually a complete mess every time you go into it.
Yeah, but they usually get it done. So, I mean, nobody,
Sure.
because of that, nobody feels the need to check at what they're doing. And so, like, the easier difficulty for story, yes, it makes the barrier to entry much easier, makes it much smoother for someone who only cares about story. But it does, I guess, come at the cost of, like, not being very interesting because you can just face roll it and, like, you don't ask yourself, how can I do better? Because you don't really have to try at all. So that's not that engaging to me.
It has pretty colors. Voice acting sometimes, there's stuff in there that's like resonates with you because you're like, oh, what they said relates to this thing in the story, and I think that's all they're there for, and that's fine.
There's some good things there, There's some good things to be had in these type of content,
Yeah, and I think and what's funny is a lot of stuff that we talked about has nothing to do with boosting. It has nothing to do. It's just players being bad and players not trying.
We got a little off track because we were trying to make the point that just because you boosted doesn't mean you're bad. Plenty of people are bad and they didn't boost.
Exactly, and I think wonderful.
A lot of it comes down to how the game teaches you the game, and in some places it does a pretty okay job at that, and in a lot of places it doesn't. I think I just really don't like how there seems to be all these systems in place for teaching people things about game mechanics that they just like left off, like things like Hall of Novice and like the Guild has system that had little blurbs of like different important mechanics. Like they were like, oh yeah, this is a cool idea, and then they just were like, whatever.
Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on that, and they were like, hey, we're starting to work on it. Then they're like, you know what, this is like Chocobo Racing, we'll never touch it again. Or PvP, I guess. I don't know. Anyways,
Chocobo Racing is super hot right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
It is. You know what? I'm going to take some claim. It's not me at all, but I'm going to take some claim from that event we did not too long ago that was abandoned by Sophie, and she couldn't. She said she'd be there.
I don't know. I was like, oh, we're all going to be on my data center, right?
Yeah, this is going how it works. Yeah, no, that'll change soon, but. No, yeah, it's so funny seeing like Asmongold and like just like hitting everything. And I think funny enough, this really does apply to the conversation because Asmongold coming into streaming, it was a huge deal for Final Fantasy 14. No one can deny that at all. And he's going through the story and hitting every single thing in the game and just enjoying himself and trying to experience it all. And one of those things are Chocobo Racings or Chocobo races in general. And then that's why everyone is looking at him and saying, oh, if a streamer comes into this game, why aren't you doing the whole story? Why can't I go through all this stuff and see you have the same experience and see these reactions where Asmongold and Rich both loved, everything they were going through? I need to see that with you, or you suck. You're a horrible person. They want to see that experience through every single new streamer that comes through, and that doesn't fit everybody.
I mean, I think that something like that has always been around on Twitch. There's always been a problem on Twitch of people coming into your stream and telling you what they want you to do and how they want you to play. Like, that's never gone away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
And by the way, they were very much doing that to Asmongold as well before he started. Everybody was saying, "Oh, he shouldn't play. He's not gonna like it. He's gonna be toxic. He's gonna talk crap about the story. He's gonna do blah 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 blah." Is what everybody had to say. Everybody had their little opinion, and it was awful. They did the same thing to him.
Yeah, they did. They did. But I mean, in the end, he did come through and do all these things that like said, "Oh, well, my opinion was wrong because he's doing this now," and I'm like, "Well, your opinion is wrong because you're just an assumption-based asshole." I don't know.
I mean. Again, forcing what I think this conversation really does revolve around one thing, and that is you cannot try to force or pressure somebody to do something that you want to do. You want them to do. Like, let them live.
Yeah.
Let them do what they want.
Let them have fun. Yeah. I'm on board with that. So the other thing, we talked about this a good bit with skipping story and everything, and I think that just kind of rolls in really well. But I want to bring this up. And we'll get to the other side of this with gatekeeping, but I want to talk about the cash shop too, because that was huge. Yesterday actually made this a really big deal, right? And I think this rolls in with boosting and paying money to get stuff out of the game. What's everybody's thoughts on Cruise Chaser right now?
I mean, I made a video yesterday in which, in the very beginning of the video, I was like, "Oh, well, I've seen they put that new Cruise Chaser on Cash Shop. That would have been real nice to have in Hidden Gorge, since it's all like that's very thematic to Hidden Gorge. That would have been a nice way to prop up this game mode that's been completely neglected." The problem with the Cash Shop is that it incentivizes them to put stuff in the shop, put stuff up for sale for real money that otherwise might have been a cool in-game achievement.
Yeah.
So, like, instead, it's like the very existence of the cash shop is the problem. But now that it's here, the ship has sailed. And so I think that, you're not evil for buying a store mount. You shouldn't, shouldn't shit on people, because you shouldn't spit on people.
Spit on,
You have a store mount. That's so stupid. Let people spend their money how they want. I could not give a crap how people spend their money. And I also think that having Fantasia, I think that's totally reasonable. I think it's reasonable to have to pay money to change how your character looks, so that you feel like you have some kind of commitment to the way your character looks. Like, I think that's kind of cool.
I don't know if that really does give people a commitment. They don't.
Actually, it's a good point. Yeah, it gives them puts a hole in their wallet, rather.
Yeah.
But I think that it really should have been for Hidden Gorge. But I mean, again, people let their affection for Final Fantasy XIV make them forget that Square Enix is a company. Like, I remember as soon as the mount released, there was somebody in my Discord who was like, "Seems like they always want more money from us." And I'm like, no shit. They're a company.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think they're here for? You think this is a charity? You think this is your therapist? You think this is just like, they're doing this just because they love spreading joy? Of course not.
When people are like, "You already have enough money. They're making so much." I'm like,
they're
never going to stop wanting to make money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, they're not. I'm just shocked by this attitude from people who are like, "I can't believe they're just squeezing us for another nickel."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they're not. Just don't buy it. You know what? You know what happens with cash shop mounts? You buy it and you're like, "Oh, this is cool," and then you're just mount roulette. It's not like it's gonna like change your life for more than like a day or two where you're enjoying it. Anyways, Sophie, I do want to hear a little bit, and then I'm gonna let Arthars kind of he's bottled up right there. I'm gonna let him loose in a second.
Is he about to pop?
I'm waiting for my
Arthars,
cue.
You all right?
I'm waiting
okay
for
over
my
there?
cue.
Let's.
Jesus.
We're gonna do Sophie first. Sophie, what are your thoughts?
I
if you want
bought
to
it. I like it.
Okay. That's good. That's your thoughts.
That's it. You go, Arthars.
Okay, wait. Oh, my turn?
Yeah, you know what? If it gets like 5-10 minutes, I might be like, "Hey," but you know what? Go.
Oh, don't worry. I use that time to make sure I collect my thoughts. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Like, first, why is that thing on the mock station, and why is it on such a quote-unquote steep price tag in the very first place? Just think about it, right? It's a fucking business. Supply and demand, okay? If something sells for that much and something doesn't sell, guess what's gonna happen? A sale is gonna happen. Guess what's gonna happen? The next item they put up is gonna be cheaper. Guess what's gonna happen? The next time you might not see another item on the mock station. Why is the mock station getting bolder and bolder, selling more and more stuff that initially started off as a few fucking dice, to the point that they start selling some mounts that is exclusive in mock station, to the point that they sell not only exclusive mount but the things people like in Cruise Chaser? Why? Why do they start from something so trivial and get to this point where they start selling something pretty iconic, even for end gamers? And that's where the problem comes out, isn't it? Why are no one blinking, batting an eye when they sell the fugly? For me, the biggest offender in the mock station till today is the freaking Chocobo carriage. Number one, that thing looks fugly. Number two, that thing doesn't make me feel like I'm gonna, like Frosty said, I'm gonna use this for the end of time. Every day I'm gonna put it on. Nope, I put it in the mount roulette. Guess what? If I get it on my mount roulette, I don't even want to use it. I'm immediately gonna dismount and I'm gonna immediately either remove it from my favorite or gonna use something else. That carriage itself that sells for what, $40? And then another mount is the fucking the whale. Okay, you guys are so freaking hyped for Endwalker that when you guys swipe your credit card and buy the whale, how come no one say anything on the mock station? I was actually my feelings that I show you the last 30 seconds, right, is the exact same as yesterday. Nothing changed. I was wondering, okay, why are people not complaining about that whale?
You mean the lunar whale?
Everybody is complaining about the Cruise Chaser.
I think people saw the lunar whale as funding FanFest in a way, since FanFest was
the thing.
free.
That's the thing. So you guys were so hyped for Endwalker. You guys were so happy about the expansion, the FanFest, and then suddenly you guys never really thought that it's the same money that you spend on a digital item in the mock station. But Cruise Chaser
different.
was
It's
not
totally
okay.
different because the Cruise Chaser is tied to Final Fantasy XIV very, very much. The Lunar Whale is just from FF4. It's just hype for Endwalker shit. But the Cruise Chaser is the boss. It's a very very good.
It is.
Hey, do you actually have the Chocobo carriage, Arthars?
Me?
On your
No.
character? You don't have any store
have
mounts.
it.
This is the first store mount that I buy. And then that makes me wonder.
Wait, you bought it?
Is it?
Wait. You bought the Cruise Chaser?
Yes.
Oh, God. But what were you just saying about if you pay them money, then what's going to happen? They're just going to keep putting it on there. Weren't you saying that a minute ago?
Yeah, this is why I'm gonna talk about the next step that I'm gonna talk about. The fact that I got so much hatred about the mock station, and then end up they put the Cruise Chaser mount in, and I bought it. Then I start to realize that, okay, so there's no big deal. It's just, it is what it is, right? Would I be happy if they put it in the? Would I be happy if they put it in game? Absolutely. If they make it 99T token, would I grab it? I probably already got 99T token anyway. Number one, be a flex. Number two, if they put it for PvP top 100, I'm gonna fucking hate Frosty for it. But guess what? I think I will do it. I will do it. If they put it top, okay, maybe not top 100. Maybe if they put it PvP, win 1,000 matches. I think I will do it. I will do it, then I will curse Frosty. Sure. If they put it on the triple triad, I will spend the next 6 months doing it, and then I will curse triple triad. No problem. But hey, if they put it in the mock station, I guess I get it. That's fine. You know why? Because like I said, I'm not the first, and I'm probably not the last.
That's what everybody thinks. So that's why it continues. But I know I'm taking the piss out of you, but the fact is, how can you resist?
Exactly.
I mean, it's cool.
That's
of
why.
course you want
That's why we come back to say, right? At the end of the day, right? Am I gonna after this fiasco and after this discussion, am I gonna still sit down here and start to blame you guys that we come to this? That like you said, the ship has sailed already. It has begun, and this is what it is already.
Yeah,
what? If I want it,
my
I buy
credit
it.
card just literally flies out of my wallet, and I can't even control myself. I just type in the numbers, and I just can't.
I did it on stream. I did it on stream, and because this is the first time I purchased, I was so scared that I accidentally showed my credit card on stream. I make sure that everything is okay. I was messaging Frosty, bruh, give me that Chocobo winning. I need that Cruise Chaser. He didn't reply me for 30 minutes. I was so pissed.
I was sleeping.
And I take out my credit card. How can you sleep on the mock station sales day, man? Every single mock station is a chance that Cruise Chaser gonna be out. You should be ready for it, man. I was waiting for it for 4 fucking months. Finally, it happened.
So I want to clarify this a little bit. So when we did the Chocobo Race event, Arthas won it. He was the victor, and the reward was $100 in MogStation items. And he's like, hold that money. I'm going to wait. And if Cruise Chaser is fucking in the MogStation, I'm going to be using this. And so then he's like,
For
all right,
2 months.
give
For
me
2 months,
3
I
Cruise
messaged him.
Chasers. And so I bought him 3 Cruise
Wait. Was there possibly like a bug in your room? Like, do you think that Square Enix might have listened in on the conversation and that's why they decided to put it in the mob station? Because they know you'd buy 3 of them?
I think it's a conspiracy.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, the month before, okay, the few days before Asmongold started playing Final Fantasy was the day that, just now at the beginning, I told you guys I took a break in July, right, from Final Fantasy, right? I was playing World of Warcraft, I was playing Ion, right? So I took a break. The moment I took that break, Final Fantasy took off. When I was playing Final Fantasy was going downhill. Content drought, no ultimate, everybody not watching 14, everybody not playing 14. The moment I stopped playing Final Fantasy and I went hard in 9.1 doing mythic raid, WoW died. Final Fantasy went on the incline. And then the moment I come back to play Final Fantasy and I buy the Cruise Chaser mount, the Cruise Chaser mount got burned to the ground and everybody fucking hated it. I think I'm the problem. I actually think I'm the problem.
So I'll let you know.
It's good to have that self-reflection there, yeah.
I know what happened, right? So I'm telling you this like I absolutely know every fact of everything and how Square Enix works, but I do, absolutely. So what happened is they were going to put it as a top 100 mount. No, 100%. Top 100. They're like, let's go out with a bang, with Feast and everything else and make this work out. Then it started to get suggested it might be a Feast mount, and they saw how many people were like, I'll burn this game to the ground if this is a Feast mount.
Have you thought that actually they wanted to put it in the Triple Triad, but because of how much negative that already happened before they release it, they last minute decided that, okay guys, we can't put this on the Triple Triad. Did you see Twitter? Did you see social media? Okay, but Yoshi P, we already have an idea that we're gonna put it on the mock state, on the Triple Triad. What the fuck are we supposed to do? Go make a fucking card, put some Lalafell on it, make it look kind of cute. 10 minutes work. That's not hard to render, right? And then we just call that card a Triple Triad mount. And then the Cruise Chaser awaits. And then wait, is it gonna be PvP? Guys, did you see social media? There's no way we put it in PvP. It waits again. Guys, what about MGP? 4 million MGP. I mean, we got 50 million gil for people to buy the mount, right? 25 million gil to buy another mount, right? Why don't we put 4 million, 10 million MGP? Nobody's gonna get it. So we wait. 2 mock station sales later, nothing. Suddenly, bam, today.
It was just out of the blue. No talk. They were just like, hey, here it is. It has been waiting around for a while. Everybody kept wondering. It was a point of conversation. So yeah, I think you're right. I think in the end, there's just no place to put it where people are going to be like, oh, they made the right decision here. They put it behind Ultimate? What the fuck? How much?
Well, okay, maybe, but there is one place that they could put it that nobody... Well, maybe some people.
There's a lot of people.
I think there's one.
Make it the new mentor roulette mount.
There's one wrong place to put it, and that's in the cash shop. There's a lot of okay places to put it. There's one wrong place, and that's the cash shop.
I don't know. I think they just gave up.
Anything is a wrong decision. I don't think anything they put it in, everybody... Okay, because this Cruise Chaser is really prestigious. It is not something that we came up with an idea. Let's do a whale. We come with an idea. Let's do a carriage. This one is different.
Yeah.
This one is really different.
Yeah.
But I feel this one is a lose-lose situation. I don't think any way... Okay, just for now, if you guys think for now, all 3 of you, think of one place that you think Cruise Chaser should be, there is going to 100% be an argument that why it shouldn't. So I don't think any way to put in is going to be the right decision. And maybe they knew it. That's why they waited this long. And honestly, there's no more fucking content that they can put in. Feast is out. The Make It Rain campaign is over. Triple Triad is over. There is really no more place already. I think this is really their last chance to okay, we just have to roll it out.
You could sell it with a $300 exclusive figure of Cruise Chaser.
Yeah, I guess it could have been worse. That's true.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Maybe they didn't want to put it in PvP because then everybody would play PvP and see how neglected it is.
Yeah, that's
which would be bad PR for the game right now.
You know what? It could be. It could be. Right now, they're doing so well with just existing. They don't really need to they don't really need to do much to bring people in. So I don't know. We'll see how this works out. The cash shop in general. All right, Arthars, you raise your hand. Go ahead.
Quick one. Someone in chat say something, make me suddenly. Okay. Let's not bash about
Quick
the
one.
money spending anymore. Let's talk about some of the cruise chaser mom. Do you guys think that they kind of missed it a little bit because they didn't put the limit card emote? Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
They
would've
should have
been
put the
good.
limit card emote.
So what would the limit code
and one and
emote
two.
look like? Would it just be dots appearing over your head?
Just limit card, man. Like, dude, have you done? You didn't do T. Okay, never mind.
Yep,
Man.
I'm a loser.
They needed it 100%.
Yep. Even Ness is doing T, man. Spofie, jeez. I'm
Don't
so-
talk to us
let's
about
go.
limit cut.
Oh man, I played Final Fantasy for 9 years. There was never one time in my life I truly felt despair doing raid. I never thought there would be any card content that, even though I was blind progging, I was hardcore progging. It made me feel like today is the day that you just go to bed, cover your blanket, and just forget about today. And tomorrow somehow find motivation to do it. Limit card brought me that despair. The first time I saw limit card, okay, you know what? Okay. The second time I saw limit card at Wormhole, I fucking lost my shit, man. I was on stream. The first time we saw Wormhole formation, I legit just shut off already. The next 10 hours, I knew we are not going anywhere. And then when we get to final Alexander, I was praying. I swear to God, if there's another limit card, I'm gonna go to FanFest and I'm gonna cosplay a cruise chaser. And I saw Yoshi P. I'm gonna, hey Yoshi! And then Yoshi P turned out what? And I will appear behind of him. I'm gonna fucking limit card him. That's what I was supposed to do. I was so close. Luckily, they didn't put it in.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have a nightmare about that today.
Yeah, we all will have nightmares about that, I'm sure. I remember that, Arthas. Jesus. I mean, cash shop. So, all right, what the cash shop in the game? There's a lot of reasons why people aren't happy with it. Because it's a cash shop, there's negative things behind it. You're like, oh well, it's just greed and everything else. But the cash shop has done great for the game, I think, in the long run. How many people out there just buying stuff? I mean, they should just have like an auto buy option. Like if new items are in the shop, you just automatically buy them and they go to your characters. They should just, I think some people should just have that enabled, right? But I think it's done enough positive stuff to keep Final Fantasy XIV floating and going forward, and the Final Fantasy franchise overall and Square Enix, that I can't be upset with Square Enix for wanting to do it because of how much it's funding the company in general.
It's just games these days, right? It's just games these days. Like, lots of games really need to find. I mean, even single player games now need to find a way to monetize more than just selling the game off the shelf. DLCs, cosmetics, loot boxes, MMORPG. People, a lot of games do battle passes. A lot of people do cosmetic mouse sales. Like Final Fantasy is not the first and it's not going to be the last that will do stuff like this. And I understand it. I think people don't mind it. It's just the manner and what type of things they put it in for people to, incentivize from it. And
yeah, like
the touchy
nobody
topics is
cared
just
when they
boost
add
moving,
like cute glamours in there, or they add like some random like
I don't
the
know.
Spriggan mount. Nobody cared about that.
That's true. I mean, this does have a lot of weight to it. You know what really pissed people off? In Stormblood, there was the guy, the one boss that was in the chair, the floating chair. Do you remember that? And then they made that floating chair a PvP top 100 reward. I have both of them, by the way. I have the purple and the blue one. And how many people were so angry because it was a story-based thing that was put into PvP? I think, I don't know. I'm just remembering that because that was, I went through that whole process and the whole community rebelled so hard against it. There are spots where they could have put Cruise Tracer in like a better spot. I think maybe what it is cash shop should be things that are purely out of imagination and not related to things that are in the game that we have an attachment to.
Agree.
I agree.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And for old event stuff, it works really well for old event items.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's fine too.
Like maybe PvP rewards that are replicas of the top 100 rewards.
What? You have got to be
Yeah, I'll
crazy.
buy 'em.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Are you serious
baby.
right now?
Okay.
Hey, look.
Oh my god. I can't believe what I just heard. You take that back.
Look,
Take it back right now.
I think really, so right now there are items that can only 600 people in the entire game have for multiple seasons that they put all this work and this effort into. I think they should have dumbed down versions of those rewards after since it's been
Undiable,
2 years. 2 years, it's
Yeah.
long enough. Just make it like a crappy version of it and throw it into the cash shop. And then let all the people who want to flex with the cooler versions flex with the cooler
Look,
versions.
that is the worst idea I've
Cash
ever
shop,
heard.
no.
Okay.
I agree, Zepla. I
Okay.
don't think they should cash
It
shop
should be
that.
feast
Maybe
currency.
in game another way to get it, the dumbed down version, another troublesome way. Okay, maybe not top 100. Okay, go do feast. Maybe you do it 1,000 times, you get the set, but the dumbed down version, fine. No. Those type of thing, even if it's dumbed down or replica, I don't think those type of things should ever be in the cash shop. No.
Okay.
No,
All right.
because
all right.
it's like I think it's important for a game to have some things that are super, super rare and ultra cool and legendary for their rare status. And you can't take that away from people, man.
Okay.
You
All
gotta
right.
have
Oh,
it.
you can't, yeah.
I really wanted to see the reaction, and I got the reaction. I was looking for that, so thank you, everybody.
You were just inciting me. You don't
Baiting.
really think that, do you? Oh,
I do think there should be alternative ways to get these old rewards in some way, but not the exact reward. I think there should be replicas, like maybe PvP, like getting tokens, like the Wolfmark, the tokens you get every season, everything, buying some old stuff. I do think there should be some way. I don't think cash shop maybe, like that goes against the whole point of not putting things we're attached to from the game in the cash shop. But I don't know.
Do you guys think after this thingy? I mean, again, it could be just a few people that reacted, lash out this way, right? But do you guys think moving forward we will ever see anything like cruise chaser magnitude type of mount or cosmetic in the cash shop?
100%.
Because they probably sold a lot of them.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I am curious what
I mean, you bought 3, right? So
sure.
I mean, I give it away.
Yeah.
Dude, that makes me scared, man. What if the Titan Savage ATV is in there? I would buy that, but I would be so pissed off at the same
look,
time.
don't
but I
even
would
say
buy
that,
it.
man. Don't give them ideas.
Yeah, it's gonna
Oh,
be in there.
man.
for
Hate
2 months
purchase.
now.
Hate purchase. Yeah. No, I think that I want to know how much money they make off cash shop versus how much money they make off subscriptions and what that ratio is. Because I bet
Yeah.
there's just a handful of players, like a few thousand players who could almost completely fund this game just through the cash shop.
Just
I
like
don't
Warcraft.
know.
Just like Warcraft. The game probably is, I mean, not 14, but even if the game has reached a stagnant number of subscription, and WoW is obviously a little bit worse, right? Because there are some honest people feel that can farm, go and buy subs. So like sub count is definitely going down, but they are still profitable and or in overall profitable in a way because of microtransaction. And I'm pretty sure Square Enix cash shop has obviously succeed in that, and that's why again I think the reason why we are getting more bold decision, more and more questionable item on the mock station, and they all sell. And dude, let's not even get to cosmetics, man. Fantasia itself probably sell more than subscription already. I personally
Definitely.
feel. So,
Yeah, for sure. Though, I mean, I hope that it could be worse. I would hate to see something like the WoW token added to Final Fantasy 14. I
Yeah.
think
Oh, God, that's-
that messed up WoW so much. Because
think-
now, in World of Warcraft, because of the existence of the WoW token, everything that you can buy on the auction house now has an associated real money value because based on the cost of the WoW token, and that sucks.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It makes the economy a lot harder too. Like getting gil would be so much harder if people had the incentive to pay their sub with it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I think we have to figure out what that balance is, right? Where what the acceptable use of what they're doing with the cash shop, how much that affects us in game, and how much that affects our enjoyment of the game, right? And how the success overall of Final Fantasy 14. Because if they do cross that line, they'll hit a situation that is similar to Blizzard, and it's going to start hurting them. And like one thing could kick it off, and then all of a sudden they start bleeding, right? Final Fantasy 14 is not doing that right now. They could do it. They could hit it at some point. But I think the people who are in charge of Final Fantasy 14, like when I start seeing Yoshida and like some of the developers start leaving the team, I'm going to start freaking out, right, I'm going to start like getting really worried. I mean, I saw that happen with Blizzard where some of the really cool people, I mean, Blizzard has so many fucking issues with them right now. But, I mean, you know, I saw that happening a long time ago. So I think right now the cash shop and where everything is in a perfectly fine spot, and I'm content and happy. I don't care because I'm going to log in and I'm going to play and I'm going to enjoy the game either way. And no one's I'm not going to be jealous. I mean, sometimes I am kind of jealous. I'm going to be honest. If I see somebody with this big mount, I'll be like, fuck you, dude. You know, I'm not going to spend $30 on that. It looks cool, but no, I'm not going to use $30 on that. Then I just get out my top 100 PvP mount and I'm okay. But go ahead.
I think the difference between how Square Enix has kind of like find all these MogStation way to monetize their game is done in a way better manner with definitely the community in mind, like what can, what cannot, pushing buttons, right? You know, what can be done, what cannot be done. Whereas World of Warcraft, right, has went the more scummy route. They make you feel like you don't really need it, but you must buy it. You don't really should spend money in the game, in MMO in general, but we put it this way because we want you to. WoW Token is an example. WoW Token, whatever story you can come up with for WoW Token is just Blizzard way of saying, you know what, guys, don't buy gold from the RMT, buy it from us instead. And there are ramifications that is going to happen if you buy it like in-game economy, it's going to break a lot. But you know what? I mean, if you don't buy it from us, you're going to buy anyway, just buy it from us. Okay, 6 months sub, buy it, we're going to give you a mount. Okay, we're going to put this cosmetic. You guys play for so long already, might as well pay for another 6 more months, and hey, there's a mount attached to it. So, whereas Final Fantasy 14, so far everything, if we come back to even boosting, skipping, and cash shop item, right? Mm-hmm. None of them make you feel like you must get it. Most of them are like, you want to indulge yourself, go get it. You want to skip a story, and then come back later, go get it. I don't think Square Enix put the story boost, for example, in there, so that, guys, skip the story because our story is not as good, or if you don't like it, fine, just skip it. I think the option is skip it, come back later. We have NG+, we make the story easier, come back later. And then boost, you already learned your job, like you say, right? You cannot just boost character. If you boost character, you have to boost story. You cannot boost just story. If you boost story, you have to boost character. So like the boost is more like, if you already done everything, boost, there are 17 jobs. You know how to play the game, you have an idea of the game, makes save you time. Cosmetic, usually out of in-game like really nice stuff, except again, this Cruise Chaser being one real exception. But so far they've been doing the right thing. So
I think that they could be a lot more aggressive about it than they are. Like, I realize that it's a sub-based MMO, but looking at a game like Elder Scrolls Online, yeah, you have the option to play for free, but their cash shop is super, super aggressive. Like, they often have these flash sales where there's an amount you can buy for like just a couple of days and then it's gone. And it's like very, very expensive. Like, people would lose their minds if we had this kind of stuff happening in Final Fantasy 14. And so I'm grateful we don't. They could use much more scummy and aggressive marketing tactics than they do, frankly.
Yeah, I think the most important thing for me is that there's never, I mean, besides buying a boost to get Gil, there's never really like a direct way to purchase tradable or sellable items or Gil, because for me, that really takes away significantly from like my enjoyment of, you know, the trading economy part of a game.
Why would someone like try to get Gil from buying a boost when they could just sit on the market board and undercut and like, you know, try to control the market board to get Gil so much easier to sell that way than it would be the other way around.
I see a lot of people in chat earlier when Zepla pointed out, a lot of people say that no way, Zepla is trolling. Like Zepla is not trolling. There are really people that spend $25 so that they can get 500k. But all of those people that I talk to when they do it, I'm like, do you think it's worth it? All of them say, no, it's not worth it. Because at the beginning, they don't know how to easily make money. It's so easy to make money in this game, right? But they didn't know. When they first play it, they didn't know. A lot of people didn't even know you go through Shadowbringer, you get all those coffers, you use it, and you sell those items to the market board, you earn so much money. They don't even know that. So they thought that I just start out, I didn't have a lot of money, you know, spend $25 for 500k could be a good start. But then once they did it the very first time, they realized that the exchange rate is not great. And again, that's what I think Square Enix did really well. Like, at least they if you want to buy boost with so much money, giving you some guild incentive and some gear incentive it's obviously you want to help out someone. These are basic things that you help out, but they also know they can't do it too much. Otherwise, it will break the balance of the economy. So I think in a way they did really well. Again, you know, to reinforce what I said earlier, I think their mock station is a little bit more controlled. They know what they are doing. They are not really out there to grab your money, even though we are all not afraid to give them their money, but they have been pretty tactful. Yeah.
I think they give you the amount of gil that you would have probably earned normally through doing the main story quests. Like you would probably get around 500k.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So we hit Cash Shop a good bit here. I figured it was worth talking because it was relevant. And I don't think we all have our different opinions on Cash Shop, and I think we came to a good point on that. I do want to hit a little bit about why a lot of this stuff we're hearing so much about this stuff recently is because of the people who are calling people out for it, right? So there's a lot of people out there on Twitter or Twitch chats or random other bits of social media who are so, and we talked about this too, they're just shitty people. They shouldn't be shitty. Is there anything that we could say is positive? I mean, we could say, yeah, they're coming from a good spot, but is there anything positive about someone coming in and trying to protect us from the wrong players that are coming into the game?
Absolutely not. I don't think that there's ever any nice, or there's nothing nice, there's nothing good, there's nothing noble about gatekeeping. Okay? Right. Like, the word itself is a problem, because the word gatekeeping, it's like already like pumping yourself up so hard. Like you're Captain America standing in front of the shining city with the gates behind you, and your perfect world is behind you, and you're going to keep out all of these undesirables, right? That's so full of shit. Like it's completely based on bullshit when acting like there's not any problems behind you. Act like you're so much better. Everything is perfect and good over here. So it's already based on condescension. It's based on, you know, putting arbitrary labels on people that you don't know, people that just so happen to fall into a certain category or fit a certain label. Oh, I don't know you, but I don't want you here. Oh, that's really nice. That's real sweet, right? I don't understand how anybody can defend this.
Yeah. Sophie, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way as Zepla. I mean, I definitely don't think gatekeeping really makes any sense in just about any context, because how are you ever going to say who's like a wrong player, you know, like that? I don't, it's just a weird phrase, you know? I think at the end of the day, if the 14 community is a good place for people, the people that come into it will become a part of that and, you know, take after that from however they wanted to act in the game. So,
yeah, I think that just like being nice to people will often encourage them to be nice once they get there. Like there's people that, and I think everybody's had the experience where, well, maybe not everybody, a lot of people might have had the experience where you were in another game and you might have been quite toxic in that game, maybe even defensively. But it's just like almost like in some games you kind of get into this mindset of this is what I need to do to survive. Like this is what I need to do to not be taken advantage of, to not be bullied, to let people know they can't mess with me. It's like, it's horrible that some games, like their community is so bad that it puts you into that state. But someone like that can just as easily come on over to Final Fantasy 14 and suddenly feel like, oh my God, what a relief. I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore. I can just chill out.
Right.
You know, so the worst thing you can do to somebody like that, especially somebody coming from one of these horrible other communities, is say, oh, actually, we don't want you here. Oh, okay.
My favorite, I love how, and people who are like, oh, where is that one person? Yeah, there's some like really like highlighted cases of people gatekeeping, but it's not that one person. There's a good handful of assholes out there. They're like, oh, I don't want all these WoW players in my game. Oh, they're going to fuck up my game. They're all toxic pieces of shit. What? Okay. I get.
I had so many people like leave my Discord and send me angry messages. I got so much hate from people because I have been very vocally welcoming and open to everybody coming in, especially people coming from WoW, because I came from there. It's the craziest thing when people are like, oh, these toxic WoW players. And I'm like, Who do you think you're talking to? Like, I just came from there, like, not even that long ago.
Most people playing this game, not most people, okay, a lot of people playing this game came from WoW in some way. I came from WoW.
First, right? Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people played it at some point if they were, like, interested in MMOs. I know people are surprised that I came from WoW. I mean, it was, like, 5 years ago, but, you know, a lot of us did.
Yeah. And I was a Blizzard fanboy. Man, I love Blizzard. Oh, man, back in the day when Diablo 2 came out, I was like, there's no company better than Blizzard. They are top dog. Everyone else needs to figure out how to get their shit together because Blizzard's got it together. But, I mean, it hit a point to where I wasn't enjoying WoW as much. And I went through and you know what? I was probably a toxic asshole. And sometimes I think I got mad at people when I felt like they were taking the spotlight away from me or something in my raid guild. I had all these little nasty little things. That was just like growing habits on the internet, man. And eventually,
nobody's perfect. Okay.
No, I mean, I am now, but I mean, you know, I wasn't back then. No.
Oh, well, shit. Okay.
But no, I honestly think that, people don't realize that we're all just internet gamers playing games, and we're not going to be a horrible person because we played WoW a lot. Man, shit, that's what I did. I bet, you know what? I never played League of Legends, but I bet if there's a mass exodus of League of Legends and they came to Final Fantasy 14 somehow, I'm sure not everybody would be a piece of shit and it'd still be perfectly fine. But I don't know, maybe not.
They absolutely would be fine.
Yeah.
Because it depends on how people will often respond to the way that you treat them. If you approach them with negativity, that's often what you will receive in return. And that's true in life. It's true online. And you said people need to remember that these are other gamers just like you. I think people often lose sight of that when they're looking at a streamer. Like, these other streamers, like, they're not different from you either. They literally just turn on a camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
People just like to like label people, and I don't know. It's like I started out streaming League, and like I was just playing ranked for like 8 hours a day every day back in like 2015. And like people would come in and like label me a certain way. Now people come in and are like, "Oh, you're too positive. You're like that part of like the 14 community." And it's like, well, I had like people when I was playing this game, people were labeling me a different way. It's just there's no point. Like, you're not gonna. Everybody is a different human. You're not gonna like be able to label them by the game they're playing. Like, it's silly.
Yeah,
I knew coming from League of Legends, such a great reference, because then we ended up with Spofie, you know.
Yeah, I'm the problem. Not
problem.
you, Arthars, don't worry.
Yeah,
not
Arthas,
the curse on 14.
You know what, Arthas, he was like, man, you're gonna make me the villain on the show today. I'm gonna be like the evil person on the show. I don't, you know what? I think that's not completely true. Not yet. Arthas, you haven't done anything to become a villain yet.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, like the past 2 months I've toned down a lot. Not because I want to, not because I'm changing my personality. It's just I feel like this is a very calm period that I'm grateful that there's so many WoW players or new players, not specifically WoW players, but even new players that come in to play the game, and then it takes off a lot of heat, because I think most people who want to talk shit about me has done already for the past 5 years already. Now, a lot of people that want to watch nice things, new things, they wouldn't be in my channel at the moment. You know what I mean? Like all this gatekeeping, all these people who are talking about boost, talking about skip, they won't be in my channel anymore, because I stream the game enough. And I think if you haven't watched me before and you watch me now, you wouldn't look at me as like a new player and thinking, why am I doing it this way? Like, we are past that already. For me, we are past that already. It's mainly for the new players, the WoW players, or even say, you know, like even if you're not new, but you've been doing more casual stuff, those are the people that is always going to be lurking in your chat and giving you guys all these label. I think I'm past that, luckily. So this gatekeeping thingy didn't really trigger me yet. This how people label me thingy that didn't really like apply to me for this 1 or 2 months. So I kind of appreciate it. So kind of like I lay back a little bit and chill. But like, so for Spofie, yeah, I would never imagine that she would actually get, you know, people saying that, what the fuck is too positive? Like, what? That's the first time I heard some stuff like that, too positive. So if you're positive, it's fine, but too positive. What? Okay, I don't know. It's weird. It's funny though, listening to some of you guys have to deal with this. Yeah, I'm glad.
I don't know it's as fun if Sophie thinks this is funny.
I think people just like to have a reason to like describe why they don't vibe with somebody, and like they need to like come up with a reason for it sometimes when it's like, no, you can just not enjoy this person. Like that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of people who hate me, man. There's a whole group of them out there, and they come up every once in a while. It's rough. It's rough, but you know, I'm just like, well, they do what they want to do.
It's just like real life, man. It's just like real life. Like you gotta understand. Not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna like one another. We are not living in this world where everybody will look at one another, give each other a nod of acknowledgement, and like a like or love one another. That's not what it is, right? I mean, why do you think Twitch have like 10,000 over different type of content creators? Why do you think in Final Fantasy 14 in the MMORPG in the world MMORPG, why do we have different guilds? Why do we have different community? Why do we have different statics? Why do we have people doing different things, RPing, raiding, doing glamour and stuff? Because it is what it is, right? You like it, you watch it, you follow it. You don't like it, then you don't watch it. Don't follow it. Don't have to sprout shit and say stuff that other people is obvious. I mean, it's the internet, right? You know, when you guys were talking about gatekeeping, I guess it's the same. All it takes is one guy. I'm pretty sure everybody has something to say. Every one of us got something to say. But the difference is that we don't say what we want to say every single time when we feel like it. You know, but sometimes you just take one person to say something that like Frosty said, somebody just highlights something that's seemingly really bad, and then everybody jump on it. Everybody just chip in. And then when you go and click on the Twitter of this person who started this people riot, you realize that wow, this guy has been starting. This guy is a facilitator that starts all these stupid crap discussion, and then people just chip in, and then here we are.
So you know what's funny? The main reason I wanted to do this was because of all the reactions people gave Max on the show when he came on, and was just like shitting all over him. I'm like, dude doesn't care about the story. He wants to raid. He's like, oh man, raiding's, you know, that's interesting. I want to figure out raiding in Final Fantasy 14 and make sure I understand what's going on with it. He wasn't like, oh man, I want to jump in there and know all about Alice and Alpha Node, and oh, I got to know the story behind Thancred. Although, I mean, some people are. They see Thancred and they're like, hey, I got to know that guy a little bit more. But that's not why everybody plays this game. I think what's really funny to me is that every single time this conversation comes up, they go back to that same streamer who had that same incident of boosting, playing bad, and not caring about the story, and being just a shitty person in general. And they say that's the reason why they don't like someone who boosts, or that's the reason why they don't like someone who skips the story.
Right. They try to use that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say it's such a false equivalency because, like, yeah, you just don't say that you don't like the story if you didn't read it, right? That's all that's the big difference there. Like, just don't have an opinion on something you didn't read. No, it doesn't matter if you skip the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, people use that, though, as ammunition in their crusade against the certain people that they don't want in the game. And the fact is, like, even if someone is being a huge asshole and they're being very loudly wrong and everyone can see it, that doesn't give you the justification to go turn around and start harassing them and being a giant dick. And I will say that actually there is a big difference between actually harassing someone and responding to them. Like, I think it's fair that when someone's being a huge asshole, and they can expect some response, and I think that people responding in a civil way is that's part of normal discussion. You can't expect to not get some, at least some pushback from that. And I say pushback in like a softer sense, because I don't think, like I said, that there's any case when that would justify harassment, that would justify the mob going after them. Because like in this case with Quint, people did, like everything that needed to be said had been said. The thing had really run its course. And yet, people just kept going on and on and on. We still hear it. Like, I don't know how much longer I have to hear about this shit.
Right.
But, like, it's just people just, like, the mob really grabbed onto it. And it started to become a really unhealthy thing. And it still is. So I think that people just need to, like I said, it's okay if someone is an asshole on the internet. You don't have to pay attention to them. You can just ignore them. Or if you've got to say something, it doesn't mean you have to be an asshole back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you think Arthas is too much of an asshole, then you'll go to super positive Spofie, right? That's
Yeah,
like
the thing. Well, I mean, look, the thing is, it's natural that you might want to gravitate to a community where you vibe better. That's fine. But then you can't, I don't think it's reasonable to then expect the conditions of that pocket that you're in to be applied to the greater whole. Like, that's just not going to work for everybody. You need to be like, let all stripes come in. Everybody, with all their different opinions and all their different ways of thinking about things, come in. Like, I understand why some people do the gatekeeping, even though it's bullshit. And it's just because people they hate change. They want to sit in their bubble where everything is predictable and everyone's agreed to sit, like, act and talk a certain way where nobody's allowed to deviate beyond the norm of what is considered acceptable. And for me, like, maybe in a small pocket that would be fine. But for me, like, to people try to enforce that on the community at large, I find that very suffocating. Like, to me, there's nothing more toxic than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Zepla, I pretty much most everything you said today I agree with. Most everything. I think only a couple things I disagreed a little bit with, but you've been a good guest so far today's show,
Oh.
Just if for everyone that didn't know, Zepla's never been on a MogTalk before. Again, it doesn't register in my head. I don't know why.
Thought I saw her before.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Here.
I think it was just that time that we were on the same team for Zodiac, and then the other team, that shitty team, Heidelin, that was over there, and we had to battle against them and scrape our way and almost won. We're one question away from winning. You know that, right? If they didn't answer that question, Larry just got real lucky. If he didn't get lucky.
Putting out fire with wind, yeah.
No, that was a different one. That was a different one. But yeah, it was like something with like the name of the military commanding title thing.
Oh yeah, it was a really obscure question.
That I didn't know, but Alex knew the right answer to it, and also we had a call to Ethis who knew the right answer to it, and Larry just 1 in 4 chance got it right.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well.
Can't hold on to things. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay.
Zodiac, we'll just have to move on.
No, we're just going to crush Heidelin. I mean, we got an expansion to do that anyways. But,
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, complete tangent here. Arthas, I don't know. I feel pretty bad because I was like, hey, you need to limit your time talking on the show.
No.
I don't want to scare you off too much.
No. Like I make sure that I fully use the time that I have something to say. I do it. Like today, I know I got 2 lovely girls here. I want to make sure that I don't disrupt them too much. At the same time, I don't want to get burned down to the ground on YouTube. So yeah. I always get burned to the ground in YouTube, man, in your MogTalk, which was surprising because when I watched the Asmongold video that he had me in this clip, I was so fucking afraid to read the YouTube comment. And surprisingly, that was okay. I'm like, wait, what? How come on every single MogTalk, everybody hated me? But somehow everybody didn't mind me on that clip.
They're so
maybe this whole time, this community just hate me, They just find a way to hate me.
It's so weird. I will admit that is weird because every time we do a show, it's like half the comments are like, Arthas is the best fucking person in the world. I couldn't exist without him. I love him. He's the best. And the other half is like, fuck Arthas. Well, I hate him every time he's on the show. This is the stupidest thing. It's like you have this super divide.
50 gifted subs. Bet somebody is gonna comment on the YouTube comment and say I talk too much and I did not let Zepla talk and or Spofie. 50
100%.
Gifted subs. 100%. Anybody want to bet?
I feel like you're not talking enough. Like,
Yeah.
you should, don't be afraid to interrupt us just because we're pretty girls or whatever you said.
No. Don't worry. When the time comes
right
in,
now?
I will. No.
Are you a little worried? Just step in. Is that what's
I like
happening?
hearing your voice. It's very soothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh,
now
boy.
it's gonna butter me up a little bit. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. So I think we kind of came down to a conclusion here overall with the topic is, don't hate well, I mean, yeah, maybe hate the player, but don't hate them until you know who the player is. Maybe you're fine. No, you can hate people at some point, right? Isn't there a point where you're like, okay, hating someone? No, there's no hate.
No, you can't hate people.
Oh,
Well, I mean, you can if I wouldn't. Okay.
There's
Don't
some
hate
people
the
I
player,
hate.
the game.
Yeah. But I don't hate the game either because the game's doing okay. I mean, the game's fine. I'm not upset with what Final Fantasy.
No, they put
did.
Cruise Chaser in the Mog Station, Frosty.
Oh no. Okay, question: did you guys all have the Mog Station mount, the Cruise Chaser mount? Who doesn't?
I don't buy stuff from the Mog Station like ever, unless if I need it. There's so many mounts. I'm like, oh, cool, I want that. How do I get it? I find out it's in a Mog Station. I'm like, well, I guess I won't have it. That's just the type of person I am.
Does Zepla and Sophie have it? Does
Yeah,
Zepla and Sophie have it? You don't?
No.
Huh? Not yet, or are you not planning to?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
You want me to get it so you'll feel better because you feel guilty for buying it, don't you? Yeah,
Yes.
that is what it's
Yes.
about.
Yes.
I'll let you know.
I feel like this is gonna be the beginning. I feel like this will be the beginning.
Yeah,
of me
I'm
thinking
sure you
into
feel
it.
dirty for what you've done. And
Yeah.
I want to
mean-
say Cruise Chaser does hold like a pretty big spot in my heart because that was when I was raid leading a group through Alexander as a paladin and fighting the meta.
Oh,
and
I was
fighting,
there. I saw, yeah.
And we found phases people didn't know existed because we survived to them with our low DPS and we were able to reset that very last phase. 3 more pillars came up and we had to redo it again. And it was such a big achievement to get with such a low DPS, find our way past this fight. It was good. So yeah, Cruise Chaser, has a special place in my heart, but I just don't care. To me, I log in the game and I'm like, I'm gonna do what I want to do, right? If I don't want to do my daily, I don't do my daily. If I don't want to do, if I don't want to go and level up a character, I'm not gonna go level up a character. If I don't want to PvP, then I won't PvP. Although usually it's like, hey, I'm gonna log in and do some PvP matches because I want to do some PvP matches, or I'll, look at Party Finder. I am so fluid to whatever I want to do in this game. I do it. If I don't want to do it, then I don't even log in.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the strengths of the game. It lets you do that. You don't feel punished for doing that.
No, not at all. A new raid tier comes out. Oh, well, I guess I can buy some crafted gear and get into it, and I don't have any stress about having to do a whole bunch of stuff before it. I just keep up with the story, which I want to do anyways. So it works out. I guess that's like the only backbone to everything is that you have to click on quests and story, but you can click on it really fast and get to it really fast if you want to as well. So, I don't know.
Or you could read it.
He could read it. I am, by the way, after watching, because I usually haven't watched people go through the story as much as a lot of streams are doing right now. There's so many streams of people experiencing the story, and I've been watching them, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, is that why? Is that what happened? I'm going through and I'm remembering and piecing all the story together now because I'm actually seeing it happen maybe for the first time, and I didn't pay as much attention when I went through it the first time. And so I'm almost encouraged to make a whole nother character just to go through and do all of the quest.
I think you should.
From level 1? Ooh.
Yeah.
Level 1.
It's
Yeah.
a fun experience to go back.
Do it.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just you really gotta do it really, really slowly because it's you must be prepared, set time,
It's a lot.
and really do it. Yeah. These new players, it's different, right? Like some of them just taking this as like a time to chill and hey, one good thing about when you start from level 1 and do story, literally except for the few dungeon and trials that you're doing, you are technically not really like need to communicate and or do stuff with a lot of people. It's just fetch quests, right? So it feels like very chill. At the same time, like you say, people can watch it, people can go through it, like relive it, and then most of the conversation is mostly non-specific and or like personal attack and or like, oh, you're a bad player, oh, you didn't do this the right thing. It's just going through story is just pretty chill, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's relaxing. You're just kind of like reading a book almost. You're just enjoying it. And what's really cool is that I've been playing this game for like 7 years, right? And so I've forgotten so much. Have you ever went back and watched a movie and you were like, I don't remember anything in this movie? and you just watch it almost like it's the first time for a second time. I feel like that kind of is with Final Fantasy with some parts of it.
That's actually, and people like, I always tell people I usually skip through most of the cutscenes like during an expansion, because at the end of it, I like to go through it all as like one cohesive experience, because otherwise I forget. I just have terrible memory. I just forget every single patch and I get upset. So.
Yeah. It did like characters come in and you're like, I don't remember this dude. You remember, this is, by the way, spoiler conversation for people, of course. In one of the main story cutscenes, that one character who came in and went into the tower with Frudola. Do you remember that character? That one guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had no clue who he was. I like couldn't pin down who this person was, and he was in the story way beforehand, and he was an important person. But
yeah,
but
you weren't reading the quest very much, right? You were just watching cutscenes, isn't that right?
So that was A Realm Reborn. That changed in A Heaven's Ward. I actually started paying attention to most of it.
Oh, okay.
A Realm Reborn, my new player experience when I came into this game, I was like, this is confusing nonsense. I don't know what the fuck any of these people are talking about. I don't want to listen to this. And I just skip past it because it was work. Reading's work, man.
What?
Yeah. You know, because you didn't read your tooltips.
Haha, you got me there. Maybe if the tooltips had told me a little story about the bonus, like the damage.
That's the solution.
You know, they do put that in there, though. And some things, like, you have to read through and they have
They
flavor
do.
text. Yeah.
Give the skills cutscenes.
Yeah.
Tooltip cutscene.
That would be a great idea. And then, like, if no one goes through the cutscenes, like they story skipped, and they're skipping all the skill cutscenes, and they don't really know their job because they didn't see this cutscene for the job icon, right?
Honestly, it might be cool to have some kind of like job training area where like they act like there's a character that actually teaches you how to play your job and like walks you through it. That'd be kind of neat, like a Hall of the Intermediate type deal, but for every job.
Yeah. I think they should have a level max level, whatever it is, level 80, level 90 Hall of the Novice, and that's it. They don't really need to do more than that, because people just need to know what their rotation, understanding their job is at the end. So maybe just
at the end, You know, Black Mage was so I level a Black Mage, right? I can tell you, man, Black Mage, like so many people is talking about how you skip story or you boost and therefore you don't learn the basic of the game. I read some even more ridiculous thing where people defend story skipping. Some people was asking, what do you learn from doing story? And then some people say, well, if you do story properly, you know what type of quest you should pick up. You know where to pick up quests, and then specific quests gives you different type of fetch quests, and different fetch quests require you to do different things. For example, when you look at the purple reroll, you know that when you go in, you're going to encounter a mob. You learn that. I'm like, okay, so what do you learn from that that's going to apply to max level and or when you do stuff in the end? Like, you guys call this thing learning? No, right? And then job learning is another thing. Like, oh, you learn your job properly from level 50 to 80. No, you don't. When you play Black Mage, level 50 is one rotation. Level 60 is another rotation. 70 is another rotation. And then finally, I think 76 to 80, you finally get your actual rotation. If anything, right, not jump potting and doing through your level and get your individual skill and then use them properly is actually more confusing than learning it at level 70 plus. Not to mention, the game sometimes throw, I'm level 52, great, yay, let me do an leveling roulette, and then it throw you to Shatasha. And then you only get one skill. It throws you off so much. If anything, I just think that, okay, I don't want to say, I don't want to conclude that, but let's just say, if you were to draw two graphs, right? Boosting and not boosting versus learning and not learning your job versus whether you are a good or bad player, there is no intersection. They are all their own. They are bad players that are bad when they skip story. They are bad players. They are bad that they don't. They are bad players whether they boost or don't. I don't think there's any correlation to anything.
You know what?
So
I was, now that I'm thinking about that, You know, it's also really confusing when you randomly get a trait that completely affects what your skills do, and you have absolutely no clue about the trait because you don't look at it. You just keep going. You're like, oh, I have a new action on my action bar. I use it. But then you also got a trait that like you need to use this, so you activate it in order to help out another skill, and that's not really explained.
Yeah, it's really not explained at all. I think I really like what WoW does. Whenever you start to make a new character, you can make a trial character where you can like go in and test out the abilities to see what job you want to play. Like that would be super helpful.
Yeah, even in Guild Wars 2, when you boost, because you get a free boost with every expansion, so everybody generally has the experience of boosting a class at some point. And when you boost, they throw you into like a practice zone. So before you like confirm, okay, this is the job I want to boost, you can practice and see like, okay, do I hate this? Like, how do I feel about it? Like, yeah.
Definitely worthwhile, especially with all the new players coming in. They need to put energy into investing into new players, and I think they've already done some work, and that's with the quest, like cleaning up the quest in a Realm Reborn and trying to make that better and giving an option to do their skips. I mean, that's for new players that don't want to experience like that early part. And the reason why boost exists is because if you advertise Shadowbringers and someone comes in and has to go through hundreds of hours of not Shadowbringers, that's kind of a shitty situation. They want to play that commercial, showed them, oh, there's going to be this angel thing that's going to come down. It's going to be this crazy thing. They want to play Shadowbringers. They don't want to play the other stuff. And so that's kind of why it exists in a way, because
yeah, it makes sense. And it's like for someone like me, I love the story so much that it does kind of break my heart a little bit when someone just doesn't show any interest in the thing that I love so much. But, you know, being a mature person means that you just kind of have to accept that. You know, I wish that everybody loved the story and went through all of it, but that's just not how it is. And overall, I guess it's better for the game that we have more players.
Yeah.
Because we are able to cater to more people. Like it would suck to have everybody like me, and then there's way less people than to have the boost in the game that accommodates a lot of different people. And now we have tons of people playing. So obviously this is better.
Yeah.
But Zepla, don't you have a situation, or even Frosty and Sophie, don't you guys also have situation where you have friends or you have the viewers that, like Frosty say, is just attracted to how Shadowbringer look like, and then it breaks your heart that you tell. I never encourage anybody to boost unless I ask them, okay, how come you didn't play at the beginning? Okay, you know, if you didn't play at the beginning because this, then obviously story is not your focus. Then okay, I will encourage you to boost. But doesn't it hurt you sometimes when you know this player is gonna like the game if they go to play Shadowbringer first, and then you just know within yourself, you yourself know it's gonna be so hard for them to get through a Realm Reborn, Heavensward, Storm's Blood within that 33 days based on how much they play. And then they
it's
can't
heartbreaking.
Get to
like that's what I was kind of referring
as well,
to.
Right?
It sucks, but you obviously it's like basically I've always said if you are going through the story and it's just horrible for you, you hate it, you're not having a good time, then there's no reason not to skip it. But I like people to at least try.
I've had people come to me and basically say like, I'm about to quit this game because I don't want to pray return to the waking sands again. And I'm just like, okay, I mean, boost if you're literally going to quit the game over it and you still like, you have friends that you want to play with at the end you're like, dang, I'm going to miss out. Like just boost. Like if that's within your power.
Several people that just bought the Realm Reborn boost and they were pretty fine with that.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. That is enough.
Option.
I think that is enough. Yeah.
I mean,
you know, I'm so glad that in this show, I was so afraid to sometimes talk about this because, you know, I'm like, again, right? Like we all three of us have very different communities, how our community look at this touchy topic. And then obviously I can't just like, you know, ask you guys how your community feel, but I'm glad that, you know, talking to the two of you, we kind of at least all have like a common agreement, a common ground that we all feel that boost is okay, because so many times, like sometimes I'm just afraid to say that just boost, and then people just like, oh, no, that's wrong, that's a shitty take, how dare you how dare you say that as a veteran player. But you know, sometimes I gotta say, man, it is exactly because we are veteran player, we know this thing and we know how sensitive it is, so we sometimes try not to say it, but because we know this game inside out, we know how hard it is to go through this, how hard at the same time it is to encourage you to boost if it is so hard for you to go through all this process. But I'm glad that all of us actually like play the game enough, and all of us like feel like all of us agree somewhat that there are intersections that we all belong in one place.
Yeah,
So
we believe people should not be shitty, right? I mean, we all come to that conclusion. We believe people
You
should do
have
what
to
they want.
respect other people's experience and what other people want to do. We can't force people to do anything they're not going to have fun doing. That's the whole that's the whole point, is to have fun.
Yeah, and I think the question, if they're like, "Hey, should I boost?" it should always be responded with, "Well, what do you care about in the game? What do you want to do? Why are you wanting to play? What experience do you want to have?" And you could get the right answer easily from whatever they respond. I mean, and it's not always going to be this answer or that answer. It's going to be whatever they want from the game. You can help them deliver that to them by telling them, "Hey, well, if you don't want story, boost. Oh, you care about the story some? Then just play through the story. It's going to take a little time, but you got so much goddamn time, man. What is it? We got like 3 more months. You can do a lot of stuff.
It's like,
in 3 months.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't see the difference between like what I would be happy for you to do versus what is actually going to be best for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have to be able to make that distinction.
Yeah. Well, we're getting close here to the end of the show. This has been a fun conversation. I've had so much fun with this. I do want to go ahead and let if any of you have anything just in the back of your mind, you're like, I'm just waiting for the place to say it or something else. Do you have anything else on your mind you want to share before we start wrapping up?
Oh, I think...
Arthars, I sent you the Chocobo carriage mount.
No! Oh, no!
Now you have to redeem it, or I'll be very sad.
She'll know if he redeems it or not, too, because I think it says on the MogStation side of it if it's been redeemed, right?
Yeah.
Sophie, why?
Oh, no.
That's toxic, man!
You don't want to be rude.
She wants something that I don't want. She intentionally wants me to enjoy something I don't want. Oh my god.
Oh no.
I'm backseating from the Chocobo carriage.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Arthas, you're gonna redeem that, right?
Yeah, of course. Yo, I'm still so bad, man. Sophie was so nice to me at the beginning as well. She also sent me a Binu Mao that I still haven't forget. Every time I open that list, I'm like,
oh yeah.
Give me this.
The what?
Yeah. The Benu Mao.
The Benu Mao? Really?
You sent it back to me.
Yeah. I initially I sent it back to her. I'm like, I can't accept this.
And I still have the message from like thousands of days ago, and it's like, I can't accept this. And he like,
I can't accept. Yeah.
You know, Sophie was reminding me of this too, Arthas. Every time, not every time, but I would bring Sophie on, and you were supposed to be a guest, and you know those times you don't show up sometimes to the show, Arthas? Sophie would have been one of the guests that was on the show
every
too.
Single time.
And so she started to think that maybe you just didn't want to talk to her, and it was just, you know.
Oh no! I would never. No.
Well, Frosty, I was starting to feel like you didn't want to talk to me.
Oh.
Well, that's not true at all. You know, not true at all. But your time zone is so hard to like get that. It's so bad.
I was about to say that. Catching Zepla is very difficult, very, very difficult for me. Like, okay, because I misunderstood the whole time, right? I thought she is like I said before the show, I thought she was European based in US. So every time I saw her time that she streamed, I'm like, I'm either asleep or when I wake up and then she's done, I'm like, wait, that isn't US time. Wait, what? So now that she clarified that I misunderstood the opposite, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel so bad because I'm like, well, oh man, let's get Zepla on, but holy fuck, it's midnight.
Yeah, it's fine. No, I stay up pretty late usually.
Okay, I'm gonna remember that, and I'm just gonna keep inviting you, and then every time you say no,
hours.
Yeah, prime streamer hours is like midnight on Saturday, or Sunday, I guess. I don't know.
What is time? I don't know.
Shit, it's horrible. Fuck time, man. It's ruined so many things for me. Yeah. All right, well, we can go ahead and start wrapping up here. It's been great having this conversation. I mean, honestly, when we're having this, I think we all knew coming into it, we're all like, hey, we're reasonable people, so we're probably all going to have the same sensible answers. But I like hashing out having these discussions either way because I feel like it's important. And everyone knows shitty takes on the internet don't really matter. fuck them. They say shitty takes, block them, and just go on. I think that's the best way to handle it.
Yeah, like it's gonna be so much healthier for you. And I say this like a general you. If somebody is pissing you off and just being loud and wrong, maybe instead of working yourself up, you could just like not pay attention to that.
Yeah. It's something I've discovered a lot over the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
It's been a
2 to 3 years.
thing.
The last 10 years, just now when you were talking about how when you were younger, you were like more angry, your wild stuff that you were saying earlier. I wanted to say something there, but I didn't want to interrupt. But now that now we are here, right? Dude, let me tell you, man, when I was 24, 25, 6 years old, I was so easily jebaited by anything written. I am so glad during that time, there wasn't Reddit, there wasn't Twitch, and there wasn't Twitter. I was so glad. Like all those bulletin board, game FAQs, Blue Gutter, BG forums, right? Those were where I was so triggered by the smallest thing. Luckily, over the years, over the past, you guys think I'm pretty toxic. Let me tell you, I'm very, very toned down already. Like in my mind, I keep myself away from Reddit. I'm not sure whether you guys notice. I never post shit on Reddit. I don't even have a Reddit account. I don't join a lot of Discord, not because I don't like you guys. Although I don't know why NAs always feel if I'm not in your Discord equal, I hate you. If I leave your Discord equal, I don't like you. I get that a lot. Sometimes when it's MogTalk, I will, but every now and then I will leave. If I were to show you my Discord list, right, I got less than 8 servers at one time. Less than 8 servers. Like sometimes I would join the Discord, after a while I would just leave. But it's not because I hate people. It's just because I try to make myself as much as possible see less things. And when I see less things I'm pretty sure people talk shit about me behind or something. I don't care. But if I don't see it, then I just pretend I don't care. I try to keep my eyes closed. I tell myself to calm down. But sadly, Twitter isn't this bad a few years ago. It is only until lately then it blew up to become what it is today. And I tell myself, man, be a better man. Just don't say anything. Be a better man. Just don't say anything. But sometimes I can't. But I keep myself under control. Like, I haven't find the need to block anybody on Twitter yet. But yeah, man, sometimes I think ignorance is a bliss sometimes,
I just tried to at you in my Discord. You're not fucking there. So thanks.
You see, I don't hate you. It's not because that's why I never joined balanced Discord. I never joined big Discord, not because I don't like you guys. Trust me. If I have my way, I'm very scared because I know my personality is not very good. I know I'm a complete asshole. And sometimes, I take this chance to say it is sometimes not because I don't want to say anything in you guys chat. Trust me, I look in you guys chat a lot. But the reason why I don't want to say anything, and also sometimes it's not because I don't want to host you guys. A lot of people say, oh, why don't you host this person? I'm like, listen, I don't want to put these really nice people that I know in a very bad spot. Okay, what if I host them and then, or they host me and then their community see what I am and then they don't like me and then they blame their streamer for why the fuck did you send me? Why did you send me?
I think you're being way too hard on yourself. You think so? I think you're putting up a whole persona here, and you're actually like
no. Really, I get asked a lot, and therefore I try to keep myself away. I try to just on my stream. I think I yell enough. Sometimes I try my best when I attend like MogTalk, for example. I try to tone it down, but as you can see over the course of all the episodes, I just can't. I try to tell myself not to speak over people or talk too loud. As you guys can see, I can't. So as much as I can do, these are the things that I try to keep myself. Sometimes I struggle a little bit. I'm like, I really want to type in their chat, but I'm scared.
Look, if you really were an asshole, you would not be considerate of other people's time. You wouldn't be worried about any of that. Okay. But here you are. You're like, oh, I don't want to speak over them. But you've got all these. You're like expressing to us how like considerate you're being, and then you're like, oh, but I'm an asshole, really. I think it's just trendy for guys to say they're assholes.
And
I think guys really love saying that.
Are you guys so nice?
I always hear guys say this. For some reason, people love saying it. Oh, well, actually, I'm an asshole.
Well,
it just things I read on the internet. It just things I read on the internet and I hear and I just like, yeah.
If you say you're
I'm 40,
asshole,
I'm 40 already, right? At what point am I gonna be mature and start reading along the lines? I guess this is the age that I really just maybe I think too much, I guess, or maybe I'm just bored. And yeah, I don't know.
No, I think if you say you're an asshole, I do this for all kinds of reasons in various different ways. If you say you're an asshole or you're bad at something, you can only go up. Really, you can only it can only be better, right? And so you're just kind of setting that tone. So when you actually get in those situations and you make mistakes, oh yeah, I told you I was an asshole, right? You know, you kind of.
Well, I guess it's better for people to think you're an asshole than to try to put you up on a pedestal and think you're a role model, because that's gonna go worse.
I'm shitty.
True.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing half the time. I'm just here. And then fucking like Ariza and Stal put out those kind of graphics every once in a while that shows Atlas, and then it tries to replace my face with it, you know, holding up the world. I'm like, fuck you, dude. I don't want to deal with that. Right? I don't want people to think I want to make mistakes. I want to be, fuck up every once in a while because it's so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
is.
it's almost, I can see it definitely being easier because people hold you to certain expectations. And, you know, the second you don't meet some little expectation, it's like some big thing, you know?
Yeah. All right. I guess we should wrap up here. All right. So going through the last bits and everything else, you guys have all been absolutely fantastic. I do want everybody to have like their last few words and kind of where people can find you and everything else. And I'm going to start actually the reverse that we did at the beginning of the show. And Sophie, if you wouldn't mind, your last words or whatever you'd like to say and kind of where people can find you if they would like to.
Oh, okay, sure. Hi. I am Sophie or Spofie. Either one works. I stream over on my channel, which is Spofie, just about every night, earlier on Fridays and Sundays. I have to raid with Nest, and that's fun.
Have to.
Yes, have to. They force me. And yeah, that's about it. I'm a VTuber, as you can see. That's all.
Okay. Arthas?
I would like to say, since to wrap up this topic, I think everybody just let everybody have fun what they are doing. If you don't know what they like, spend some time, do a little bit of research, hang around in their chat before you say something mean, say something nasty to insert streamer name. Get the gist of what type of player they are, what things they like, and then try to understand why they do some of the things that you yourself think that is not what you think should be done. Right? Take a moment. We call it like, practice a little bit of Twitch etiquette. Don't just run your mouth. I know it's hard on the internet, whether it's on Twitch or whether it's on Twitter, right? Spare a little bit of consideration. At the end of the day, worst come to worst, just tell yourself it is their goddamn money. Let them do what they want to do. It's not gonna affect you. It's just roll with it, man. Just take a chill pill, backseat a little bit. Not backseat gaming, but like just sit back, enjoy the content that those creator put out, and for my case, recently there's a lot of traction to my channel. I appreciate it, but at the same time, I want to let you guys know I am not what I am yet, because now it's a chill time. When we get into more rating, when we get into more PF stuff, that is where you will see my true nature. And you better prepare for it at twitch.tv/Arthars. Yep.
All right. Zepla?
So I guess my final takes on the whole discussion, I would say, it's really not a complicated solution to a lot of the problems like pretty much every problem we discuss, like people being horrible about boosting, people being horrible with the gatekeeping and all that. Like, it's really like kindness is free. It costs nothing to not be an asshole. Like, literally just be nicer if you can, and to stop trying to police everybody, because you'll certainly catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Like you have to meet people where they're at. Not everybody is going to be in the same like wavelength as you, and it would be horrible if everybody thought the same way that you did. And like, if you see somebody going on their path that way and your path is going off this way, you can say, well, maybe come this way with me, and you can like try to, with your kindness, shine a little light that way. But you're not ever going to be able to control them. It's a exercise in futility. So the best thing that you can do is just be kind. That's all I have to say about that. As for me, I'm Zepla, and my channel is Zepla HQ on Twitch. I'm also on YouTube, and I make a lot of videos that are, about community discussion stuff. I make a lot of videos about new, like that are targeted towards new players in Final Fantasy 14. And so, yeah, might like that over there, Zepla HQ on YouTube.
Excellent. And it was a blast having you on, Zepla. I'm glad we finally crossed that off the list, and I won't be as afraid to invite you going forward in the future.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
And just to add on to that, I do want to say one of my favorite things about Final Fantasy XIV is how diverse it is with the player base and the community and how many things there are to do and how much people do. It feels like an MMO, right? It feels like a massive world that there's little communities everywhere and people are just enjoying themselves. And so I think we should always encourage that and bring in new people in to try to adventure into whatever community they want to. But that being said, I do want to ask you all three for a favor real quick, because I don't want to look through this entire video and find a good YouTube thumbnail. So could you guys all make like angry faces or something so I can easily just pull a YouTube thumbnail, just like all at the same time? Ready? Just go.
Oh, wait, 1 sec.
Okay, we gotta wait for. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
There you go, Arthars. Perfect.
I'm cramping.
I'm going to grab that and make it the YouTube thumbnail, and we'll get more clicks because of that. So thank you all. That being said, again, all wonderful guests here. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show. You're all fantastic. Everybody commenting, all the mods out there kind of keeping a handle on everything. And thank you, of course, to all the supporters of wherever you support, whether it's just watching, Patreon, subs, whatever. Next week, I'm not entirely sure what the show is going to be about, but we will see what happens next week. I do have a quick thank you Patreon video after this, then our credits, and we will do a raid or a host afterwards. So again, you all wonderful. Remember, be good, keep cool, stay frosty. Bye, guys! Everybody say bye and wave.
Bye.
Remember the wave. The method.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching the show. That was actually kind of fantastic. You know, I always love going and having these kind of conversations that might be a little touchy and trying to get to a nice conclusion, which I think we did. I think we did. But before we go forward, I gotta thank some Patreon supporters who are absolutely fantastic. First, let's thank Akmorden, which is a great web resource for PvE content. Then there's Phase Temperance. And then there's, Phase Temperance is an amazing PvE resource for doing events. And then there's Teamcraft, which is an amazing resource for actually doing some crafting on the webs. Now, there's also some awesome, really high-tier supporters here. I got to thank them because they did the tier for it. It is Adodas Antonio, D Fury, Daniel H, JKJ, Megan C, Nami, Psyche, and Tag. You all are absolutely fantastic. I do want to thank all the Patreon supporters. I want to thank all the people watching the show today, because without you guys watching the show and getting your eyes on it, we wouldn't even be here. So thanks for watching. You guys, will see you next time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.